My Love of Life Energy is a podcast created by Anna Scott. Anna knows that every human being sees life uniquely. In this podcast, she will talk to people and learn from them. These conversations are to shine the brilliance of each human being she speaks to. Join her. After each exploration, you will expand on your insights and see truth and beauty.
Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life Energy. And today is like a dream of mine. I'm interviewing somebody I've never spoken to or never met, but I've been deeply impacted by her music. And I have Ashana. Ashana is a musician. She's a music bowl healer. She website is Sounds of Ashana, and it is with deep honor and gratitude that I have you with me today. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Anna. We both started crying before we even started.
It's true, because I was listening to your bio on your website, and you talked about the introduction of how you met your first crystal bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And which bowl was that? I'm so curious. And how did you meet the bowl?
It doesn't exist anymore, actually. And no, it was perfect, actually, the what happened to it. Because there's a certain point in time where with some energies, or it happens with crystals, it can happen with special sacred objects that you have, that their work with you is done. Mm-hmm. and that there's a completion there. And with that particular bowl, it was really clear there was a completion, and it was a big 14-inch classic frosted G bowl that I had, and I don't play classic frosted bowls hardly ever anymore. So the bowls you see around me are all alchemy, master alchemy, and the super grade bowls, because that was the very natural evolution into the next level of crystal bowl artistry. And but that one beautiful bowl, it was a Tibetan bowl. I banged into my coffee table, and the bowl was sitting like right next to the coffee table. And I had a Tibetan bowl sitting on top of the coffee table, and I banged into it. And this is exactly what happened. The Tibetan bowl moved out into the air. It hovered for a moment, and then it dropped smack into the center of the bowl and completely blew out the center. And I was devastated in that moment, because I thought, oh my goodness, I've done something terrible. And then upon reflection and speaking with one of my spiritual mentors, and actually the person who first led me to playing crystal bowls. So this was like back in, my goodness, this probably was back in 1999 or 2000 when this happened. And she was very intuitively saw that the timing of that, and I had learned what I needed to learn in relationship with that particular bowl, and that it was time to shift and bring in a new energy. And
can I ask, what did you learn from that bowl?
That bowl was my first. It was a process of the very first part of that process was coming into relationship with my voice, and on a whole other level. And there was, I think when that bowl broke, there were certain addictive patterns that I was holding inside of me, and energetic patterns that basically, it was time for them to shift. And one of my mentors for many, many years, she still continues to be, she was at a period, for a long period of time, a 26th generation curandera. And she taught me that when something breaks, and it's a really big break, that is a signal that when you can catch it like in the moment, It's, what is the pattern that's being broken right here, right now? You hear that big crack, and you go, oh, because something really shattering has happened. If you can take it a moment right in that instant and go, what is the pattern that is breaking here? Can be a pattern of my negativity, my disappointment, my resistance, my fear, my anxiety, whatever that pattern is. But it can be a big pattern. We have this opportunity when we literally have a big clap and snap from the universe to wake up and pay attention. And we have an opportunity to just make a new choice. And so that bowl breaking was part of my making a new choice. It's been, I think, a continuous choice for me, over the years. I feel like I'm continuously choosing to deepen my relationship to soul and to spirit, to the angelic kingdom, to source energy, to be of greater service, to get out of my own way, to step outside my own perceived limitations, to walk beyond my fear, my resistance, my defensiveness, my, let's go down the list of, what it's like to be a human in a human body. All this stuff is like right there for all of us. So, I'm not different than anybody else. So, we've all got it,
But can I tell you what I just heard, which I've never heard before?
Yeah.
And I'm curious how you're listening. It's like we develop useful patterns for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But then it seems to me what you're doing through your music is that you're always listening. When does that pattern need to go away and something new needs to come in? And it's always like a refreshing of something new.
Wow. I'm not sure I would look at it quite that way for me.
Okay.
My experience is that when I let go of the pattern, the connection and my ability to listen deepens. So it is this process. So maybe it's kind of like, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
It almost feels like that when we talk this way, speak this way about these things. And that, the practice of listening makes us more aware of what those patterns are. And then we become more aware of what the patterns are, or what's let's say the threshold of our conscious awareness in that moment where the conditioned mind exists. So when we reach that threshold and we break through that threshold, then the listening can become deeper. The awareness becomes deeper. And then as the awareness is deeper, we can see the pattern better. And it goes like that. And I see this, to me, this is the amazing thing about meditation, prayer, chanting, any kind of spiritual path that one is on, and sound and vibrational healing is the way that I have learned and grown so deeply. But I'm certainly not limited to that.
It just seems like if there's no patterns, then we're completely free.
I mean, are we ever completely free? If you're
I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing in you. I'm like, oh, that's what's possible.
Well, I think when we break through the patterns, we can live in increased levels of joy, happiness, surrender. So we're surrendering to that greater aspect of ourselves, more buoyancy, more creativity, more life force energy. There's more room inside of us for more pulsating life force energy. We can contribute more to ourselves, to the world. We could just be at peace sitting outside having, breakfast under the umbrella and just watching the birds. We have more contentment. I mean, golly, isn't that what it's about? It have to be, we're going to save the world. Can we just how about we just take moments and just breathe and give thanks,
I think that is saving the world. Being content and happy and listening to beautiful music is saving the world.
It's one piece of it for sure.
So you have a class that's coming out in August, and
Not a class.
it's
a new recording. Yeah.
So share, please.
Oh, well, I am super stoked about this because this project has been a really long time coming. And I started work on it several years ago, and it went through multiple iterations. It's almost like the music established itself first, and then we built this entire online course about it. It's called Celestial Alignment for Healing. The whole course is not going to come out for several months because we are releasing the music first. The nature of the music world right now is that everybody wants the singles, and so we're spoon feeding everybody music for the course, right? And the music is so cool because, years ago, it was a few years ago, I started getting messages to collect, that's really the wrong word, to bring in to my crystal bowl family specific bowls, and they kept showing up, as 9-inch bowls in the note A. They just, before I knew it, I had 6, 7, I probably have 9 of them now. Okay. They're the same note, but they're different alchemies. And what I mean by alchemy is that in the crystal bowl world, there are bowls, and they're made by a company called Crystal Tones. They're called Alchemy and Master Alchemy bowls. And these are bowls that have been infused and overlaid with precious gemstones, minerals, and metals. Okay. And that's what creates these gorgeous colors that you see behind me. And so what happened was that I just kept getting these A bowls, kyanite, and I got to look at them. Kyanite, citrine, indium, charcoal. Oh my gosh, Himalayan sea salt, and there are a few others. And I was told by my guidance, I said, take these bowls together, and you're going to record a series of 6 songs, and they're all going to use these bowls and these notes, because there's specific energies that are being communicated and frequencies that are being shared with this. And we're going to tell you what to do with them. And I was like, okay, cool. So, and then I could see it, because, when the downloads come, they go boom, like that. And within a minute, I was like, whoa, this is really awesome. So what happened is that I called up my producer, Thomas Barkey, who is, we've been working together for 17 years. So I called him up and I said, I got this idea. And he's like, oh my God, you're on fire. So it was like, so when can you come? And I went tomorrow, So we set a date, and we went in and we just recorded. We laid down these beautiful, beautiful bowl tracks. And then I did a mantra for healing. I did an instrumental version, which is just the bowls with just beautiful little koji chimes and crystal pyramids, and I used other things. And then I did a version of me just doing that kind of signature, the thing.
Oh, wow.
Ambient vocals on it. But it was really, really different because the vocals inside this were much more static than what I have done in the past. They were very, 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 very just these long lines of sound. And it's just this bowl's just going for 30 minutes, right? And so we did that. And then I did a 15-minute guided meditation that went with it. And then I did an affirmation track, which is absolutely ridiculous. And because working with Thomas is just amazing. So we have this mantra for healing. It's a power mantra. It's got it's a whole world beat thing with percussion and it is just amazing. And the energy coming through is huge because I wanted to give people a sound that is empowering. I wanted them to feel like, the whole thing, like with sound healing right now, it's like all the like bowl players and sound, everything is like quiet. And I was like, man, let's light a fire. And it's like, we're gonna light a fire, right? So we took these, and that's always been part of my signature, is taking the bowls and putting them into music. And that's what Thomas and I have been doing since 2005. And so we put this mantra, just this powerful mantra track. And, people that hear me, they don't realize that it's actually me chanting. Some people are so used to this, like,
Yeah.
and this is,
Oh my God.
and it is me in my power chanting voice, right? And it is so, I wanted people to have to, especially, anybody who is challenged with a healing crisis or not feeling confident or worried or scared, filled with anxiety. I wanted to give them a mantra that goes, I'm here and I'm good.
Oh my God.
And that's the leadoff song that's dropping on August 4th. And seriously, we did this beautiful, magnificent video of it. We recorded it. My husband's a native Hawaiian healer, and he and I did the video together because the words of this mantra are, oh, compassionate Rama. And Rama is a deity that symbolizes the power of the sun. Okay, so it is this vibrant solar power. And we did this where I wanted to give people the feeling of calling in the energy that's this pure golden light power of source energy coming in and through them, filling every cell of their bodies, vibrating with pulsing life force energy, and the feeling of the earth. So as I before I got excited, so the words are, oh, compassionate Rama, bring your healing power to earth,
Oh,
right? And it is not like, oh, may healing power come and bless me. It is not that. It is like the consciousness of the rishis, these are the ones that bring through these mantras, just said, you come in, you say exactly what you want when you want it, and you're calling in that energy right now. And when I think about this and this mantra for this day and age, what's happening on our earth right now with the ecological issues, with the issues around people's health and well-being, with the sheer divisiveness that is literally splitting families and communities and countries and states. They're ripping them apart. We need some serious juju, to connect with that aspect, that frequency inside ourselves, to call forth the energy, the confidence, the vision, the passion to turn things around. And so, it was really funny because we recorded this mantra, a few years ago, right? And oftentimes what's happened with me, especially with my music, is on some level, it always was, we were, Thomas always said this to me, we were always way ahead of the curve. And so, I kept trying to get this music out there, and like, it would never work. And finally I surrendered to it. I said, okay, God, this is totally in your timing. I did my part. And then we did recorded the course videos, actually recorded the course videos 3 times. Okay. So 3rd time's the charm. And this is what people are getting. and this whole, experience that people can take with them, that they have the mantra, they have this affirmations, which is, the affirmation, the first line is, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm alive, I'm vibrant. And wow. And you hear the bowls all the way through.
Oh, wow.
Rotor rooter, they're just powering through. And then there's these beautiful, quiet meditative things that people are so used to hearing, with crystal singing bowls. And but no, there's a balance, right?
No, I'm just like, I am so excited. It feels like a warrior with love.
Yes, I love that.
That's the energy as a true warrior, grounded in love.
A true warrior grounded in love, and one that understands the balance between yin and yang.
Yes.
We take divinely inspired action, and that action comes from the quiet, centered place inside of our hearts when we're connected with source energy.
Yes. And that's the part that can transform everything. But it has, in a Aikido martial art I studied, it's that you can take anybody down with love and you feel it when you're united to universal energy. And that's but it's claiming it.
Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm so curious on the one that had the long, like low sound. What was that for you? Because that,
what do you mean?
You said one of the recordings that had one of these long, I'm not saying in one of the recordings you did, it had a long, low sound.
Oh, no, I just meant, what I meant is that it's the vocalization, instead of being, more melodic.
Yes.
They were more still.
And I'm so curious about that. What is that for you? Because when you said it, I felt the power of it so profound.
I think it's just a deeper level of stillness.
Oh.
I may be wrong about that, but there's like, I want to say it's like less singing and more attuning to the merging of sound with the bowls and the consciousness of the light beings that are a very welcome and necessary part of the creation of that sound wave.
It feels like such a strong unity.
It is. And we did an album. We did the follow-up album to my album Jewels of Silence. It's we recorded that also, and that's been recorded and mastered, and that's going to be coming out next year. And that kind of vocal is very, very present in that album. There's still, these more melodic flows, but there is like this stillness in some of the tracks, and some of the tracks have more energy, but there's a stillness in the tracks where I just felt like, it was just these long lines, and then they just kind of dissolved, and then it would just happen again. And there was a sound of the bowls. It reminds me of this story that I told in my book about when I was in my ballroom when my husband and I were living in Mount Shasta, California, and I was sitting with them, and I had just been playing for a while, and then I was sitting afterwards, just kind of in my quiet space inside. And I heard them clairaudiently. They they're like living consciousness. I mean, everything is living consciousness, but in that moment, they really were like talking. And they said to me, "Oh, we don't think of you as we think of you as another bowl." And I was like, I heard him, I heard it, like, you're talking to me. I heard him like talking to me. And of course, they gave me the download immediately of what that was. And so many of my students or people that come to me to study crystals, the art of playing crystal singing bowls, they have this idea, that the bowls are like, they put the bowls like on this pedestal almost, and it becomes, oh, it's about the bull, the bull, the bull. But the bulls don't think that way, right? The bulls themselves don't think that way. The consciousness of the bulls themselves, they see everything as one. And so, just like the harps, the angels that work with the harps, and when you really begin, as we all, not when you really, I don't mean to say it that way, but as we all begin to awaken, we begin to understand that, we're connected to the tree that I'm looking at outside my window right now, or the birds that are out there, or the animals, and we stop dividing ourselves against people and come together as a consciousness of oneness. And this is so powerful and so needed. I mean, I could tell you this little story. Can I tell you this little story?
You can, please. You got whatever you got, I want.
So I was getting a whole bunch of new bowls for my clients and my students and my online store. My husband finds this bowl, and I'll show you this bowl. You look at my butt. Here.
Oh my God, is that beautiful?
Amazing.
Oh my God, it's of Wales.
Yes.
Oh,
Wales, right. My husband finds this bowl, and he goes. He had friends from Hawaii. My husband's native Hawaiian. I don't know if I said that.
Yep.
I'm going to turn my original sound on so you can hear this beautiful being. But my husband finds this bowl, and he had friends, Hawaiian friends, coming to see him in the showroom, and they had never connected with a crystal bowl before. And so, of course, he pulls this one off the shelf. Now, there isn't another one like this in the entire bowl. It's like 10,000 bowls, and this was the only one that looked like this, right? And he puts this bowl in their hand. And the minute he taps it and plays it, and they're holding it and he's playing it, they begin to cry.
oh God.
So he tells me about this, right? And so I said, well, maybe there's a place for it. Maybe we need to really look at that. So I took the bowl, and I hadn't played it, and I sat it down in front of me, and I tapped the side, and I began to play. This was like 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago. And I exploded in tears. And I hadn't had a response to a crystal bowl like that for years, where it went straight down into my soul and completely dismantled me. It was just the sound itself. And so I put together this set of bowls around it, specific, very specific. I asked, the team to help me put these bowls around it, because I wanted this sound that would evoke the sound of the whales with this. And
Would you?
do you want me to play it? Yeah.
I'm dying for you to play this bowl. It's a whale bowl. It is stunning.
It's a whale bowl. You can see it. So.
Oh.
I know.
I want to make sure we have limited time with you, and I'm like, oh, I've never hated time more in my life than I do right now. I just want to make sure I honor the book that you created.
Oh, wow! You didn't let me finish the story.
But finish the story. Okay, finish the story. Finish the story. I'm sorry.
My story was about oneness, and we were talking about the divisiveness and how sound and connecting with the team, can help shift that, and that's our responsibility. And, there was a period, not too many months ago, or last year, when a whole bunch of whales breached and died off the coast of, I think it was New Zealand or Australia. And they couldn't understand why. They would like get them back out of the water and they would come back in, and they would get them back out of the water. They would come back in until, people finally were explaining to them over 400 whales died. And the reason that they died is because one got stuck and they all came to help. Now, that's what we need right now. That consciousness where we're all stuck. And my God, this collective consciousness is stuck.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that stuckness in so many ways. We're also seeing the arising of what is not stuck becoming more obvious.
Oh, wow.
Day by day.
I just felt your warrior.
That
warrior meditation is an unstuckness.
It's an unstuckness. And it is, I believe in my heart, that the whale consciousness right now, that there's a teaching in there, and I hope that it is not to watch the die off so that we can learn. I hope
Say that again.
I hope we do not have to watch the entire whale species on this planet
Oh,
so that we can learn. But my prayer is that all of humanity begins to wake up and realize that we are one and that we are here to help each other.
I'm sorry, when I hear such a truth speak, I laugh with such delight, and I can feel that's your truth.
Yeah. We're here to
And I feel it when you play it.
We're here to help. We're here to help. Over and over and over again. And people are like, well, how do I help? Well, what's in front of you today? What's right in front of you right now today? It could be the smallest, tiniest thing. It could be, finding a stray dog on the street and giving it water and finding a safe place for it to be. It can be going and visiting your elder in the nursing home, or picking up the phone and calling and telling somebody that you love them. It can be as simple as that. It can, and also it is this connection to our divine purpose. And, people often struggle with this. Well, what's my divine purpose? What's my divine purpose? And you will know your divine purpose by the presence of the joy in your heart. So simple.
You're I can just feel like in the tonal that you talked about, that to me it was like the divine feminine connecting into the oneness of life, which is all love. That's what O-sensei and Aikido said. And I can feel it emanating out of you, that every act is from love.
Well, maybe not. I'm still human. I'm learning.
I
have
know.
my experiences on a daily basis. But then I get the opportunity to love myself and forgive myself for forgetting. So,
Yeah.
I have one of my dearest friends and mentors, Beverly Wilson, who used to own the Crystal Room in Mount Shasta, California. And I remember calling to her and complaining one day about how long it was taking me to learn to change a pattern.
Mm.
And I was in a car in a parking lot in the middle of God knows where. I can't even remember where I was. I think I was living in Phoenix at the time. And it was before that. And I said to Bev, yeah, but I might have to do this 1,000 times a day to remember, if I forget and then I remember and I forget. And I remember. And Bev said to me, she goes, well, then that would be a great day. And I have never forgotten that.
Oh, wow.
So every time I catch myself, because I'm like, oh, shoot, I reacted. I did this. I said that. I shouldn't have done that. I blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, I just remembered. I forgive myself. I love myself. I understand the reason I did that. Oh, I allow my reactivity to come in. Oh, I was defensive. Oh, I was guilty. Oh, I was judgmental. Oh, I was unloving.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a human.
And that with the grace that you're giving yourself. I see the grace in your music
Yeah,
shows up in the grace in how you are with you and other human beings and life,
yeah,
all of life.
yeah.
Um,
Learning.
we are at our end. I am going to have up on the website your connection to this program, the Crystal Songbook, that is absolutely
Yes.
stunning. And to
Crystal
this,
symbols. Yes, crystal
it's
symbols.
on there.
Yeah, there it
The
is.
link will be there, as well as this program that's coming August 4th. Is that
That's the first song going
first song
so
will be launched? So this will be launched
on
prior
Spotify.
to that. So look for that.
Yep.
And it has been, it's been it's been a dream. Thank you. You are a gift to humanity, to life.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm so blessed.
You're welcome, Anna. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Oh my God. It's an honor. And my intention is to share this music with the world, and that somebody sees it and that they wake up through you. So much love.
All right, my dear. Be well.